Hey everyone, welcome back to another Mini-Sode, where today we'll be talking about Batman Begins. Based on the 2005 film of the same name, Begins takes you through the, beginning of Bruce Wayne's journey into becoming the Dark Knight, vowing to protect Gotham City from the coming darkness of Ra's al Ghul and the Scarecrow. Essentially, the game version, for the most part, follows the plot of the film beat by beat, with a few minor changes to make the story fit well into the confines of a digital format. If you love the movie story, you'll follow the game no problem. Batman's gameplay here is that of a third-person stealth action title, very similar to a certain goggle-wearing government agent. You progress through each stage, taking out any goons that get in your path. Being that fear is Batman's greatest weapon, you'll use a combination of martial arts skills and a few gadgets to scare your foes. Since this is Batman's early years, you only have the grappling gun, batarangs, flashbangs, smoke grenades, and high-frequency transponders at your disposal, which can be obtained by very convenient military crates found in the levels. As for the hand-to-hand combat, you have a punch, kick, block or counter, and a context-sensitive button that serves as not only opening doors, but performing finishing moves. There's a Conker's Bad Fur Day joke somewhere in there.
Oh yeah, the light comes on, and it makes this nice ting. Right, that ting nice. You guys ting. There, ting.
Lastly, to have more of that Sam Fisher flair, Batman can lockpick doors and hack electronics via minigames. All of this is topped off with controls that are smooth and responsive, almost like a precursor to Arkham Asylum, which would come out 4 years later, by the way. The only hiccup really is that sometimes the lock-on for your grapple and items requires you to stand in a certain spot before you can activate them. That and, although the checkpoint system is quite plentiful, they don't refill your health. So, unless you're near a conveniently placed first aid kit, you may have some trouble. Of course, Batman isn't really Batman without his Batmobile, and the tank-like Tumbler does appear here in 2 stages where you race to the end, slamming enemy cars that get in your way. Very similar to the Burnout games. Then again, these stages were worked on by that dev team, so it makes sense. They're pretty fun. But it is odd that there's no armor refilling pickups to grab, considering that your main form of attack causes you damage. But these go by so fast that it doesn't matter that much. Overall, not a bad game. Considering it was released right before the 360 came out, Begins' visuals aren't bad. The stages do match the film's locales well enough, from the Temple of the League of Shadows to Arkham Asylum and other spots in Gotham. Meanwhile, the character models look as well as you can get on the big screen, matching their film counterparts quite accurately. On the audio side of things, the music is an original score different from the film, and it's okay. Sometimes it doesn't fit the look and feel of what's going on. Maybe it was just EA not wanting to pay for the film's score. I'm not sure, but this score isn't that terrible. At least, it's not the Batman '89 soundtrack by Prince. I mean, could you imagine running around in this game to Bat Dance? Aw hell, who am I kidding? I still would. Moving on to casting, the majority of the film's cast reprises their roles for the game, such as Christian Bale, Michael Caine, Liam Neeson, Katie Holmes, Cillian Murphy, Tom Wilkinson, and Morgan Freeman. The only 2 recasts are Ken Watanabe as Ra's al Ghul and Gary Oldman as Jim Gordon. And while the new voice actors do an alright job, those characters aren't really in the game long enough that you'd really be noticing it all that much. Although, I have to say, some of the lines that Bale says are interesting enough to make me think he had to do a couple of takes due to laughing.
The walls! Please! I can't stand this!
You come out when you talk.
Please! Anything! Just let me out!
I want to know about bears and rabbits.
While it's heavily inspired by Splinter Cell, Batman Begins is a decent ride. Sure, it may not be a 5-star action romp, it's most definitely better than the other Batman games that came out during the Big Green's lifespan. Plus, with its pretty affordable price, it's definitely worth a playthrough. Now, you would think with the success of Batman Begins at the box office and The Dark Knight coming out a few years later to widespread acclaim, EA would have made a game sequel as well. Well, they were. A game adaptation was in the works by developer Pandemic that was going to be an open-world action-adventure. Sadly, the game was canceled a few months after the film was released, with EA foregoing the game rights to Batman, leading to the beginning of the Arkham series. Still, even though we may not have gotten what was looking to be a great Batman game from the Nolan trilogy, it doesn't hurt to have at least one decent one. And with that, this is Mike, also known as Miketendo, from Dongled, filling in for the Dali Popka. Thanks for watching, and stay green, everybody. See you next time.